All right, here we go, everybody. We are here live, ready to be with you tonight on this very special episode of Jessica Daily. We're about to come on screen. I've got my girl Chasi Jernigan in the background. I see you, sis, and I am so
What's up?
excited. Let's go ahead and bring everybody in. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am just excited that we finally were able to make this happen.
Finally got it going
I
after
know.
forever of
I
trying to get it together.
know. I know. I know. I was telling everybody, on Instagram and social media that I really feel like tonight is going to be super inspiring and just a heartfelt conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really
I
do.
think so because we're homegirls in real life.
In real
So I think
life.
I think this is gonna be really good.
Right, right. So, everybody who is watching right now, please go ahead and share in the comments where you're watching from. We know we have people over in YouTube, Facebook, and I think Periscope is coming up as well. So, you guys make sure you share tonight's broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all a little bit about Chasi. Chasi, of course, is my friend. She's just my sister. I'm telling you, I don't want to get too deep into my story tonight. But when I tell you, I was so grateful to meet Chasi because we just connected. We connected so well because her spirit is amazing. She's a worship leader outside of and I have your bio here, but now I'm just like speaking from the heart. But Chasi is a worship leader. She's a pastor's wife. She also is, of course, a fitness instructor, certified Zumba fitness instructor. She is also, thank you so much. And thanks for being here. We've got people commenting and excited to be here tonight.
Thank you.
So excited for you to be here too, Marche. I'm sure you're going to love Chasi's insight tonight. But anyway, so Chasi and I really connected because you guys know I'm a creative. And when I met her, I felt like I met an angel because,
That's sweet.
yes, because I was like, you're a creative like me. Can we please be friends?
Especially in Tupelo.
Right, in Mississippi. So I'm like,
Woo.
I need a friend that's creative like me. Will you please be my friend? And sure enough, she was so open to it. And so that's how we got connected. And we've been friends, we've been sisters, we've had like conversations that are just so precious. And so let's dive
And
in
not to mention,
tonight.
I make the bomb wings.
Yes, thank you for that. She has her Chasi wings, and oh my gosh, I was trying to put in special orders for those wings for sure. But tonight we're talking about faith, family, and fitness. And I am just so excited about tonight's conversation simply because I think that these are challenging times right now. And we kind of took a poll on the topic. That's why we had one flyer out that said faith, fashion, and fitness. And then I was like, we're in some challenging times. Let's
Oh yeah.
talk about how the faith, family, and fitness just weaves together. So let's just kind of get started tonight with, how have you been during everything that's going on in our world right now?
It's been tough, but I've been pulling through. Just keeping the faith and also remembering something that my husband say all the time. He's like, be cautious, be careful, but don't let it take over your life. Don't be full of fear,
Wow.
and just be cautious and be cool and, take precautions, but don't let it, kill your dreams and all of that good stuff.
Right, right. Wow, that's amazing. And so, I know that you and your husband just recently, you had a ministry in Tupelo, and then you moved to Alabama in the
Yeah.
middle of a pandemic.
In the middle of a pandemic.
How was that?
It was definitely faith. Because you moving, not only are we moving, we're moving in the middle of a pandemic, and then we come into a town where we don't know anybody. We have a few friends here in ministry, but I'm just saying no family, all
Mhm.
of our support was in Tupelo. So
Mhm.
God blessed us with a promotion in ministry, and we decided to take, to have faith and just go for it. And in the
Right.
middle of a pandemic, I just know that God is definitely going to reward us, because God does, He rewards faith every time. And so,
Right.
you
Wow.
know, we stepping out.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, just talking about your story, because I know that when we would have our girl talks, you shared with me, how your faith was tested, even in your health. And I want to talk
Mhm,
about your fitness journey as well, because
mhm,
your platform has just exploded because of that. So,
mhm.
kind of take us through, your journey of, faith and fitness, and then we'll talk about family and how it all weaves together.
Well, because I'm gonna be open, I'm gonna be completely transparent. Me and my husband, we got married 15 years ago, and we're
Mhm,
young. So,
mhm,
um, I'm 37. My husband is 39. We got married when I was 22, and I think he was like 24, somewhere
mhm,
around there. And we ended up going to a ministry that was just, very strict. That's what I
right,
would say, Pentecostal.
mhm,
And my mom was always into fashion heavy when I was a
mhm,
kid. So I grew up in fashion, and in the church. And so
mhm,
I felt like a part of my identity was taken when I went here.
right,
And over the years, God freed me from a lot of the bondage that I was in there, not being able to do certain things or wear certain things. God freed me in that. And that's
mhm,
how I birthed my blog, because my blog was
wow,
it was kind of a journey of me trying to find out who I was, because in that I completely forgot about who I was, who I grew up
mhm,
to be, my love for fashion and all of those things. And it was almost like I had to unlearn all of those things, and then kind of dig deeper and ask God to help me figure out who I was and what I loved.
mhm,
And
right,
through writing and talking about my journey to self-love and figure out who I was, it birthed a movement. And over that period of time, I felt like I gained weight because I was miserable. So I
mhm,
skyrocketed all the way up to 350 pounds. And in the
wow,
process of me finding who I was, learning who I was, unlearning things, God put it in my spirit to take care of my health. Of course, because I went to the doctor, and they said things were looking a little, like basically pre-diabetic, things of that nature, and that I
right,
needed to be more conscious of what I was eating and not let my mouth be a garbage disposal when it comes to food.
mhm,
And so with that, I ended up just digging deep, losing weight, losing over 130 pounds. And through all of that, my fitness ministry was birthed. My self-love ministry was birthed. I was healed through it all.
mhm,
And I want to say I wasn't healed from the weight loss. I was just healed in basically learning who I was, and, in the fashion and faith and all of those things, it healed me. That's why I always encourage you to write, because people to write, because in writing you become delivered over that process of
woo,
shedding all of that. Because that's all it
mm,
was, me writing. If you go to my blog, it's a lot of me writing how I feel, what I've been through. And through all of
mhm.
that, God delivered me. He transformed me through all of that, and then allowed me to be able to help others.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I love what you said as far as, we got to kind of rewind a little bit on what you said about how so many times, we try to fit
Oh,
in
man.
environments, and we
Mhm.
try to fit in different types of situations, whether it be church, whatever the case, but especially in the church community. And I can talk to you
Yes.
about this because you're a pastor's wife. So I'm
Mhm.
so excited about this piece of the conversation, because
Mhm.
so many people don't go to church because they feel like they don't fit in.
Absolutely.
Can you just kind of touch on that just a little bit, and why it's so important? You know, what does church need to be like, in your opinion, for today's generation?
The thing about it is, God created us to be unique to be creative, to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to church, when people go to church, if they don't fit this mold, then they're kind of rejected.
Right.
They're ridiculed if they don't fit a certain clique or a certain just whatever is popular there. They're rejected. I feel like we should celebrate unique individuals, and that was the problem. Even when I went to this certain ministry, I didn't look the way everybody else looked, and because I'm so country, y'all. My grammar is just
you're good.
I didn't look the way everybody else looked or whatever. I was rejected because of that.
Right.
Not knowing that was really the spot of my purpose. And that's the thing. That's why a lot of people can't find purpose, because they're rejected in the area of purpose. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And it rejects you. It hurts you so bad to where you can't even think about what it was you were created to do, because now you're worried about the opinions of everybody else. You can't step out. You've been rejected so bad to where you can't step out because you like, oh my God, all eyes on me.
Right. That's a powerful statement, because I heard you say, it was in that place that was, not so much accepted, that place of rejection, where you found your purpose. Yes. And I can remember, sis, when I was in grade school, it was two things. So when we were kids and we found ourselves trying to talk on the phone to boys or whatever, we would often disguise our voice and be like, hello, just trying to talk, cute and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like I needed to do that in order to be accepted by these little boys that I found myself, talking to for the few minutes that I had to talk to them. So thinking about me, sis, not being comfortable with my own voice.
Wow.
And now my voice is my career.
Wow, that's huge.
That's a big deal, because
that's a huge deal.
Yes, because for me, like I said, I started my career in radio and then, went from there into all of the other things that I'm doing. So it's so important for us to accept who we are. And, I didn't like my name at one point. And now my name, I know what my middle name means and my first name. And I'm like, Grace this, Grace that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is very imperative that we find, that we pay attention to those areas that other people ridicule.
Absolutely.
And are optimistic about it. So what else? What are some other areas where you kind of felt your faith being tested in your life?
I felt like with my self-esteem, I always had a lot of problems with my self-esteem. And that's another part of my purpose that was birthed, because I have always been plus size. And I know that, I know that people don't understand that, but I tell you, you can ask my mom. I've always been the biggest in my class. I always was, even my children. That's why I'm so thankful that I began to learn to love who I was, because now my children are the biggest in their class. And now I can tell them, hey, it's okay to stand out. You're going to look different, but that doesn't mean that you don't, that you're not valuable or that you're not worthy. And so my faith was tested in my self-esteem a lot. And oftentimes I put that pressure on my husband because I didn't love myself. And a lot of times as wives, when we don't love ourselves, then we constantly need to be puffed up by our husband or constantly need to be complimented. And that can get exhausting when you don't love yourself. You have to be completely whole when you come into a relationship. And that's something that I had to learn, because my husband loved me. But no matter how much a man loves you, if you're not confident, then you're just, no matter what they say, it's going to be empty words, because you have a void that needs to be healed on the inside, and only God can do that for you. So doing that, my faith was tested a lot because it caused issues in my relationship. because it
Mhm.
was just, I was very needy. But
Mhm.
being that God has healed that part of me, and now I
Mhm.
can speak to other women and say, hey, your husband can never make you feel this way about yourself, no matter what he do. It takes God to do that.
Right, right, right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Wow. So that's a good chunk right there, speaking to, self-confidence and healing from confidence issues and security issues. And I think honestly, I think most women have had some sort of insecurity about some
Absolutely.
piece of their body. But one thing that I wanted to highlight is this slogan that you have that I love. Fit has no size.
Oh, yeah. Fitness has no size. Fit has no size.
And I want you to speak to that because I admire how comfortable you are in your own skin and how you have grown to love
Hmm.
yourself. Can you just kind of speak to that statement for those who are watching right now who may feel like, oh, to be fit is this and that, and I got to
Oh,
have this, I
yeah.
got to look like this. What
Gotta
are your
have this
thoughts
and
on
that.
that?
But society has made fitness look one dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
and they have made society has made fitness look like a six pack,
Mm-hmm.
abs, 120 pounds, and that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as I After I lost all of this weight, I
Mm-hmm.
gained. Let me tell you, I gained a lot of it back. I gained
Mm-hmm.
probably 60 pounds of 130 back.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I constantly had to lose weight to fit into this fitness instructor kind of stereotype. And that's
Mm-hmm.
really a lot of the reason why I would hustle so hard in the gym. It would be like, because I was still trying to prove to others that I was worthy to be a fitness instructor at
Wow.
200 pounds. And then all of a sudden, I saw something on YouTube, and it was this girl who was like 250 pounds, killing it in the gym. Like, and
Wow.
they were talking about how fitness has changed and plus size women are strong. And I was like, man, this looks like
Mm.
me. And it
Mhm.
made me want to push that message, especially in Mississippi, because Mississippi, at the time we were in Tupelo, a plus
Mhm.
size woman could not walk in the gym in that time and be okay. And
Right.
so back in 2012,
Mhm.
along with my husband, he pulled up the carpet at the ministry to start the first dance class that was not in a gym. And so
Mm.
it like blew up because nobody had to walk in the gym and go and get these crazy stares or gym intimidation, or a lot of people look at you crazy like, what you here for? And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm just trying to work out. Don't judge my
Mhm.
body. And so
Mhm.
now a part of my purpose, which I have so much,
Mhm.
a chunk of my purpose is breaking down fitness stereotypes that
Mhm.
fitness looks one way. You don't have to have a six pack to have a strong core. You know,
Mm.
you don't have to be 120 pounds to be healthy.
Mhm.
You know, it is so crazy. If you was to go and look at the hashtag fitness has no size or fit has no size, you would see so many plus size women doing incredible things in the fitness space.
Wow. 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 That's incredible. And I can say, y'all, I have been to her Zumba class, and I'm probably the slowest one in the class.
Oh
Chassie
man.
is getting down in the class, and I'm kind of like, I got you, sis. I'm with you. I promise. And she is just killing it on the exercises. And one thing that I love about your classes is the fact that I think it's good for you to come to a class where the you can relate. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think that was the biggest thing that made the classes kind of take off. At first people would walk in and they would be like, I'm sure I got this. You know, she's
Mhm.
instantly they judge a book by its cover. They look
Mhm.
at me and they're like, girl, we can do this.
Mm.
Girl, by the time we get to song number 2, they like, girl, I'm so sorry. After class, they would be like, I'm so sorry. I prejudged you. I didn't think that you could do this, but you have changed. And I'm like, I get it all the time.
Wow.
Women want to go where they feel like they belong.
Mm.
And I think that when you are working out and you're plus size, you inspire other plus size women to move their body. Because a lot of times looking at fitness on TV, you automatically feel intimidated by the workout simply because somebody slimmer is doing it. And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. But once you see somebody bigger doing it, you're like, oh, man, if she can do it, then I know I can do it.
Right, right.
And that's what we're supposed to, that's what we are, that's what we're put here. We're put here to let people know, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can start a blog, if I can build a brand, if
Mhm.
I can do all of this, then there's no reason to look at me and be envious or jealous. The only thing you should look at me and say, if she can do it, then I know I can do it. Hands down.
Right, right. Wow. Wow, that's incredible. I love that. And like I said, I love the culture that you create in your sessions. And so now you're doing virtual Zoom, right?
Yeah, virtual Zumba.
Zumba.
The only thing is I'm not as consistent as I was in my classes because this pandemic been threw me completely off my square.
Mm-hmm.
But every so often since we've moved, and then I'm an essential worker, so I work outside of my home,
Mm-hmm.
and everything has changed. I at least try to do 1 or 2 classes a month right now until things get a little bit more stable in my home.
Right, right. Well, I want to put a plug right here for everybody. I want you to definitely check out Chasi's website at sweatinmascara.com so you can check out when her next class will be at sweatinmascara.com. And
Uh-huh.
I want to just kind of shift gears a little bit to family, and I want to talk about balancing it, everything. Oh, yes. Someone just asked about virtual Zoom, but yes. So, Marche, you can definitely take a look at Chasi's website,
Uh-huh.
sweatinmascara.com. Thank you so much.
.com, sweat and
Yes,
mascara. Mhm.
I love it. So tell me about, balancing. I mean, you're a pastor's wife. You, I know, are working, I don't know, is it still in education?
Uh-huh.
In education, you have a blog, you're an influencer, which is a whole business by itself because you have amazing brand deals. And then you are, a wife. I mean, so many hats. How are you? What would you say to the person who's watching right now and they're really trying to figure out how to just manage everything?
um, it takes a support system first and foremost. I want to shout out my incredible husband, Marcus Jernigan. If it wasn't for him, my mom, Pearl Foster, shout her out, my mother-in-law, Sandra Long. God blessed me with an incredible support system. And if they're in the area, then a lot of times I can do whatever it is that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
They are the backbone of everything that I do. Um, and my husband, for sure, you know, just taking a lot of time with the boys. And I have 2 boys, and
Mm-hmm.
him being a present father and allowing me to have the time to do a lot of the things that I need to do. We
Mm-hmm.
can balance things if we have a support system. Um, I know what a wife looked like back in the 1920s and the 1930s, but in 2020, a wife don't look the same way, you know. And we know
Right.
that back in those days, women stayed barefoot and pregnant. They stayed
Mhm,
in the house cleaning up and cooking and serving their husbands, and that's perfectly fine. I'm
mhm,
not knocking the housewife, you know,
mhm,
not knocking
mhm.
that. But in 2020, women now know that they have a message and that they have people to reach, and that God put purpose on the inside of them as well. So, in order to fulfill all of that, you definitely have to have a support system.
Mhm. I love that. I love that. And you kind of sparked some other questions here because I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you talk about, the support system. And it really sounds also like, marrying the right person.
Oh, got
Well, I
to.
want to talk about that, but then I also want to talk about the whole stereotypes around um, what women have to be today. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm.
And just this whole shift that I feel like is taking place with women. I mean, you and I, we had a conversation, and this is kind of, it's not worldly, but it's true. We talked about Lizzo, and how
Oh,
she
yeah.
just made a huge mark, in the entertainment industry, just stepping out in her identity. And so when it comes to just women rising up right now into their
Mhm.
purpose, what are your thoughts on that? Like, what's been going on in your mind concerning the pivot that we're making?
Well, I feel like it's always been there because if you go to Proverbs, the virtuous woman, that Proverbs 31, you see that the virtuous woman was an entrepreneur. She was a girl boss. She
Yes,
was
she
killing it.
was.
She was killing it. And it honestly said that her husband was known because of her.
Come on now. Preach, sis.
I ain't gonna make nobody mad today, but that's what it said.
Mhm.
She was a girl boss back in them times.
Wow.
She had her own business. She did 1,000 things and did it with grace and
Mhm.
did it while loving God. Women, we are so powerful. We're so powerful. Um, I just feel like we have to have the confidence to step out because I believe every woman has purpose, no matter how young, no matter how old, no matter how big, small, married, single. You were created to fix some problem in the world. You were created with some purpose on the inside of you, and you have to tap into it. Um, Women were, doing big things back in the day, so it's only fair and right if we continue to rise up. I just feel like a lot of times we don't marry the right person who can
Mhm.
push us into our destiny because I do also feel like your mate push you. Um,
Mhm.
I can honestly say prior to meeting Marcus, I had a worker bee mentality. Um, I always was like, I don't believe in this entrepreneur. You got to go to work. That
Wow.
was me.
Wow. I never would
And
have imagined that.
was the person with the big dreams and talking about opening up a Starbucks and all kind of stuff. I'm like, boy, look, we barely got money to eat. You're not about to open up nothing. And so my husband has always had dreams that were out of this world. And
Mhm.
all the time I would shoot him down like, oh God, here you go with another one of these get rich quick schemes, these pyramid schemes and all of
Mhm.
that. But he just had an entrepreneur mindset. And
Right.
eventually, after us being married for so long, it rubbed off on me.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can do this or do that. I've always wanted to do this or do that. And I just decided to be a girl to go for it. But like I
Wow.
said again, you got to marry somebody who believes that you can do whatever it is that you can do. Because if you're pursuing purpose and your mate is not pushing you or he believes the opposite, then it's almost like kicking against the grain. It's too hard. And
Mhm.
then let me tell you something, it's already hard to pursue your purpose. So then when you have a spouse who don't believe or somebody who don't believe in what you're doing, it just adds more struggle to it.
Wow. That
And
is
so
so true.
it's easy. I can say it's easy when you have someone who pushes you. And my husband definitely do that for me.
Right. Yeah, your husband, Pastor Jernigan, is always like so encouraging. I mean, he even takes your photos for you. I'm like,
Yeah, he do.
I
Look,
think
he be like,
every
we gotta get this out. Some days I'm the one that's like, you know what? I don't feel like doing it today. I'm tired. He's like, no, we gotta get this photo. We gotta get this out. I'm like, oh my
I
goodness.
love that. I love that. Even, even when it comes to like, I remember one of your brand deals, and I of course wouldn't say the name, but I remember you saying like, it was something at the last minute or something.
Oh, goodness.
And he was like, we didn't pay for this plane ticket. You going.
Because I promise you, I'll freeze up in a quick second. I'll be like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't feel like it, because it can be exhausting.
Right.
But, but you need somebody to push you, because when you have those days, it's that extra nudge to be like, okay, I got this. I can do it.
Right.
I can do it.
Right. Well, I just want to take a pause here for the calls and just let everybody know that we are just so excited to have you. And I'm excited for the people who are watching. Some people click in, some people watch and text me and say, I didn't click in, but I was watching. But we're just excited about everyone who's watching right now. And I want to invite you all to make sure that you are sharing this broadcast. Simply because you never know who could be inspired to go after their dreams. Chasi has already shared about, how she, just overcame self-esteem issues and fear as it relates to, kicking off her dreams as a fitness coach and just helping women to lose weight. And so, and also pursuing her purpose in just inspiring women to be themselves. So you want to share this video, definitely. Well, sis, I want to talk now a little bit about your journey when it comes to building your brand, because a lot of people, that follow me are creatives, or they have a desire to build a business. And just from the business aspect, what can you describe your experience as being as far as building your brand?
I would describe it as consistent work, hard work for sure, a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but I do believe that anybody can do it. You do not have to be special to do what I do. You don't have to be. Anybody can do it. Anybody.
So when it comes to your, the fact that you have major brand deals, I mean, I can tell from the outside looking in that it, like you said, takes hard work. What are some tips when it comes to just the technical aspect, as far as presence and branding and building your brand from a visual standpoint? What are some tips that you could share with some of the creatives watching right now?
The number one tip I would go for is excellence. And I don't care if you have 2 followers or if you have 16,000. It's all about excellence. Our eyes want to see a certain, we want to see that appeal, and we have to give it to our audience. Another thing is followers. A lot of times followers don't matter, and we get caught up on followers, but it's more so about engagement, creating a community around your brand, helping people, fixing a problem, having more to offer than just a pretty picture. Pretty pictures worked back in the day, but now you got to say something to actually touch the heart of people, or touch their situation, or touch what they're going through. A pretty picture is cool, but the caption, I say, it's all in the caption.
That is so powerful. That's awesome. So a lot of the work that you do for your brand, do you do it yourself, or how has the process been for you when it comes to actually executing your marketing, everything?
Most of it, honestly, I still do it by myself. However, my photos, I work with different photographers for my photos, and I can't say that I do it by myself anymore. I do have an assistant. Maybe the last 6 months I've had an assistant, and she is incredible. She helped me with my emails. She helped with my pitching and things of that nature, so that I'm not pulled in so many directions. Because sometimes you look at it like I'm spending money on an assistant, but sometimes that gives you the space to be creative, and then they handle all the logistics.
Right. I love that. So when it comes to pitching your brand, because I heard you mention that, and that's a everyone wants to collaborate and go to the next level and monetize their brand, monetize their idea, their hobby, their passion. When it comes to pitching your brand, what would you say are some of the things that other brands are looking for when it comes to collaborating with you?
I would say authenticity.
Mm,
One thing that back in the day, I've been blogging for over 6 years now.
mhm,
Really been writing for probably 10 years,
mhm,
but really, I wish I had went live a lot earlier. I let people talk me out of it. I second guess myself, and I didn't go live with my blog until 6 years ago. But one thing I dropped the ball in was authenticity. A lot of times we reach out to brands and we want them to work with us. We want them to give us money. We want them to pay us or use us for a big campaign. But really, we don't too much care about the brand, you know? We
mhm,
don't like the brand. Let's say
mhm,
we just reaching out to them for money. It's
right,
not something that we align with. And a
mhm,
lot of times, a lot of the brands that I work with and that I've done events with are brands who I stand by, who I've supported way before being a blogger. Lane Bryant being one of them. I've
mhm.
worked with Lane Bryant on numerous occasions. However, when I was in the 7th grade, I remember going to Lane Bryant as a plus size middle schooler, getting my Easter dress. And so I was like, had it not been for Lane Bryant, everybody would be fly on Easter, and I would have been jacked up because I was already like a size 12, 14.
Mhm,
So I talk about that. I've been a Lane Bryant customer way before blogging. And so
wow,
I think that when you pitch brands, you need to pitch brands who you actually love. Those are the ones that actually, give you money and pay for things for you, because you're not just, it's not like a one time ordeal, It's
mhm.
something that can grow into much larger than just a check.
Wow, that's powerful. And people can tell, like you said, people can tell when you're just trying to come up or when you
Yeah.
really do have a connection or some
Yeah.
type of story with them. So, what are some of the top tools that you advise people who want to, connect with major brands, in business? What are some of the top tools you recommend people should have in place?
Um, I think that it depends on if you're going into something such as myself as blogging. I will use, when I launched my blog, I started with WordPress, a very simple blogging site. And then I upgraded from there. When I coach different people on branding, building a brand or building a blog. And when
Mhm.
I do these things, I say, you want to make sure you're consistent first before you just go pay for a domain, pay for all of this stuff, and then you're not going to do right by it. Because
Right.
sometimes we're looking for a quick come up. And I can
Mhm.
tell you, it's not a quick come up. It
Mhm.
takes time. You can't go to sleep wanting to lose 100 pounds, wake up to eat one day. One day you hit your macros, and the next day you wake up 100 pounds smaller. It don't happen like that.
Mhm.
There's a process. And a lot of times we forget the process. But even in branding and building your blog or building your career or building a digital brand, you have a process that you have to go through.
Right.
All I say is if you're consistent, because I didn't know that you could start getting paid for a lot of stuff that I was doing. It started out as just me venting about life, and then it turned into a business. And so
Mhm.
I often say, if you can do it for free, then you can do it with pay. If it's something that you really love.
I love that. I love that.
But
So,
I wanted to say, I started with WordPress. Um, it was a free site. And then once I saw myself blogging regularly, I
mhm,
then purchased my domain, and went and purchased hosting for my website and
mhm.
started to upgrade since I saw that was something that I enjoyed to do.
Right, right. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I know all about what it takes, to build a business, of course, and I know that a lot of this information is very valuable. So, if someone wants to sign up, to receive some coaching with you to kind of build their brand and discuss next steps, what's the best way to contact you for that?
They can go to my website, www.sweatandmascara, and it has all my information there, email, or they can hit me up on any of my, I'm on all of the social media, from Pinterest to Twitter to Tumblr, wherever I'm there.
Wow.
Hit me up, it's Chasi Jernigan.
I love it. I love it. Well, sis, I have enjoyed this night with you. It's been super awesome, super chill.
Yes.
And I want to give you an opportunity for those who are watching, maybe watching the replay. I just want to give you an opportunity to just share any last encouraging words just for that wife who's watching, that entrepreneur, that person who's just trying to get their life together. I want you to just share from your heart anything that you feel like they need to hear right now.
I would say to, first of all, be delivered from people, because you can't go really far when you're entangled with the opinions of others and what everybody else is thinking about what you're doing. You're going to forever be held back. God can give you 1,000 ideas, but if you're always afraid to put it out there because you're afraid of what others will say, you'll forever be behind on what God has called you to do. Wow. So first, we got to get delivered from people. Secondly, we got to have faith. You don't need all the tools to start. You just have to start. You start with what you have. I don't care what it is. If you want to have a daycare business, you want to keep children, and all you got is one car seat, start. Put your business out there. Be consistent. And like the words say, if you're faithful over a few things, God will make you ruler over many. All you have to do is step out. I think that's it. I just want everybody to know that there's nothing special about me. I love to say that often because a lot of times people are like, oh my God, you're an influencer, you're this. I'm just somebody who kept going. On the bad days, I kept going. On days nobody was watching my blog, I kept going. When I put a blog post out and I got one view, I kept writing. When I put a picture out and got one like, I kept posting, and I just stayed faithful. And that scripture is so true. If you're faithful over a few things, God will make you ruler over many. So be delivered from people, operating your purpose, and be consistent and be faithful. That's it.
I love it. Well, thank you, sis, for being here with me. And thank you everyone for watching tonight. We will be back with another episode of Jessica Daily very soon. But in the meantime, I want you to share this video and subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to my mailing list at jessicagrace.tv, and make sure you check out Chasi's website at sweatandmascara.com. Thank you all so much for being here, and have a wonderful night.